Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Kinda Funny Games. My name is Colin. This is Tim. The next Kinda Funny video game book club game is The Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
The NES classic, one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. And so I thought we would sit down, or really you thought, because it was really your idea, we would sit down and play the game and kind of introduce people to it. And so I'm going to kind of go this way, and then we'll just do this there.
A little old poop. Dropping the poop.
Yeah, and that's
I like that.
That's it. And
Register
poops in, and poops ready to go.
And that's how the adventure begins.
Now it's hard to explain to people how incredibly revolutionary this game is. This game is open world and it's non-linear, and there's a bunch of things you can do before you even go to the first dungeon that a lot of people don't realize. It's funny because I haven't played this game in full since I was in college, and I'm looking at a map that I used to use on GameFAQs and my own FAQ that I wrote when I was a kid.
That's hilarious.
To kind of help me out a little bit here. But what we're going to do, at least before we go to the first dungeon, is we're going to grab a few odds and ends that we need, mostly hearts.
Yeah.
Maybe grab the blue candle. We can grab the blue ring. We can grab the blue, or the white sword if we want to, but I'm not going to get too crazy with it. We'll just go to the first dungeon and show people what the game's all about. But when is the first time you played this game? Do you remember?
Yes, I do, very vividly. We got it at a garage sale. It was me and Kevin and his sisters and stuff, and we got a bunch of NES games, and this was one of them, this and Zelda 2. And I remember these were the games that were like, what the hell? We do not understand this. I must have been 5, maybe. Way too young to wrap my head around this game. And it's crazy because I have seen 5-year-olds play this game and understand it, which blows my mind, because I never got it. Like, we would just run around and have fun just in the overworld. Like, I never really understood the dungeons, never got that far. When the game was re-released on the GBA years later, I was like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to actually dedicate some time and play it.
Was that the e-card one or whatever they called it? What do they call those things? Remember when you scan cards?
Yeah. I don't think that had to do with the scanning of the cards. It was the 20th anniversary or whatever of the NES. Something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was a black box.
Yeah, and it was really nice. They released a bunch of NES classics on it, and it was good. And that was when I first actually beat this game. And it was really special. And it's funny, though, to hear you talk about this game even before we played it now. You have an understanding of this game that is so deep and so Colin Moriarty that it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I love this game. I feel like I'm gonna die though because I'm already getting damaged so much. But there we go. That will help. But yeah, I love like when I wrote my FAQ. It's like one of the FAQs I loved the most was writing for this particular game because it's a game that can be explored so deeply before you go anywhere else and do anything else. Like and that's what's so special about the game is that you can do all sorts of cool shit in the game. Instead, people just jump from dungeon to dungeon, but there's like all these secret items. Like a lot of them you don't even have to find. Yeah. You know, which is crazy. I already did. But like you can find like a lot of crazy items and weapons and swords and all these kinds of things. And basically, all I'm trying to do right now, it really doesn't matter. You know, if I die because I'm keeping my money. What I'm trying to do right now is accumulate money, and I'm going all the way to the right so that I can get bombs. And I can get bombs actually closer to home, but the reason I'm going this way is because the heart pieces I want are more this way, so this will ultimately save us time.
Yeah, it's so cool you know that, because like I've never done that. I always just go straight to the dungeon.
Yeah, there's no reason to I mean, you could. I mean, there's one of the cool things that a lot of people in the, kind of the Zelda community do, and I did when I was a kid, was, you know, a quest to play with just 3 hearts, which you can do in a minimal amount of weapons, basically just getting the things you need. For instance, you don't need all of the weapons, you don't need all of the candles. Like the blue candle, for instance, you can get, but not the red candle. You don't need to get the rings, which diminish the amount of damage you take significantly. Get this. So there's like a fundamental way of playing it, and this is kind of always the way I played as a kid anyway, but not everyone has to play like this, and obviously it's kind of like a trial and error thing. Like I don't care how many times I die as long as I get to where I need to go. Yeah. I'm gonna die again. So I'll just go up and left and grab the bombs. It'll be easier that way. And then we'll start kind of going eastward along the coast and grabbing some of these heart pieces, which will make it a lot easier later on. Because that's one of the things that frustrates people when they play the game for the first time, is the amount of work that needs to go into getting heart pieces and needs to just getting money, because you need money, you need currency in the game. And so the game is really hard at first until you enter some of these stores. Like you can buy the blue candle here for 60, and we'll come back for that later. The blue candle allows you to burn bushes down, which will then expose secrets, including heart pieces.
Well, that's kind of the craziest thing about this game, is that it doesn't really explain things that well. You just kind of gotta learn. But then once you learn, you know, and then everything else kind of starts to make sense. But when you first play this game, you just look, even the display of this is like kind of, there's a lot going on. Oh, you know, you got the key, there's the little, like, the thing under the key. What is that?
It's a bomb.
Is it?
Yeah. But we just don't have bombs yet.
Yeah, okay, but see, that's the thing. So when you first play, you're just like, What the hell's happening?
We need the letter for this woman. So that we're not ready for that woman yet. I think there's a store over here, if I remember correctly. I want to try to find it. It's been a while. Let's see. It's over here somewhere.
And the music in this game is so good.
Let's see.
It's so limited. It's funny because it's like there's like 2 songs in this game total.
Yeah, the songs are classics.
Overworld and Dungeon.
Let's see here. I feel like there's a store over here. I want to see if I can find it. I don't think I'm crazy. Maybe I am.
And it's interesting too because it's not like there's like a text-heavy story in this game.
No, everything's. You know, the funny thing about that is that I feel like this tells as little or as much as a story as a lot of Zelda games. You know, like where it's not really important. It's not why you're playing the game.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just run back down the coast.
I always enjoyed Zelda 2 because it didn't have. It was similar to this in that it doesn't like hit you over the head with a bunch of story, but the fact that it had the townspeople and even that opening scene where you see Zelda kind of like sleeping on the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
So you meet these like random people that just give you these obtuse clues, and this reminds me of Castlevania 2 in a lot of ways, where it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
And it's really only after you know the answer, like what you usually found from like your friend in like the playground or whatever, they're like, oh, that's what she meant. It was always like a backwards hint.
Yeah.
I was like, I
mean,
guess
it's like the grave. It's like, where the fuck's the grave? Like, look at your map right now.
Yeah.
Look how helpful that is.
Yeah, that's all you see is like the location generally of where you are. But we're gonna be back. This is where we got the sword for the first time. So we're gonna start running back down to the right. I just want to get bombs and a couple heart pieces because I think it will make the dungeon a little more manageable. And then we don't need to have them, but. And I'm also a little rusty, so I'm probably going to need the help. But if we stay afar, we can fight these guys, you know, with our, with our special, blade here that only shoots out when you have full health. And these guys drop a lot of blue rupees, which are worth. This is a 1, but these are worth 5. And it's nice to accumulate that. So by the time we get back, we can get the candle and then open up a few more heart pieces if we want. Let's see what happens. So Zelda 2 is actually, I wrote a guide for Zelda 2, and I still think, and I wrote one for Link to the Past as well, which is another fantastic game. And what's cool about all these games to me is that they're all quite different from each other and iterative of each other. I think Zelda 2 is, obviously very different.
Yes.
But that's kind of the design.
I never beat 2. 2 is, awesome. Is so hard.
It's hard, but it's manageable. Like it's not as hard as you think. Like any Zelda game, it's as hard as you kind of. I don't want to say as hard as you make it.
I think it's harder. Zelda 2 is hard.
Like you have to just find. It's the same thing with the heart pieces, like where you have to find experience points bags and all those kinds of things. Like the little bags you find like in secret areas that will help you. Level up basically because the game is very role-playing game.
It's so interesting to me that like you have these stories and these experiences with this game. Like you're only 5 years older than me, but I feel like I would have had a very different time with this game had I been your age playing it because I would have got into it in a much different way. Because it was way more rudimentary and way more just kind of like surface level and like I'm just gonna play around and things are gonna happen. Then after playing for a while, you eventually beat it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I benefited, as I've said so many times for people that have been following us for a long time. Like I had an older brother that was 11 years older than me that was playing these games. Yeah. And I was exposed to. I was playing Zelda when I was 5, and I was pretty competent at it. But it was just from like watching people that knew what they were doing play the game. Over and over and over again. My brother and his friends. I mean, I was exposed to these things before a lot of people might have been. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like me. It's nothing special about me. It's really the situation shit. I don't want to die.
Yeah, I had Kevin's older sister being a total fucking bitch, threatening to tickle me to death if I didn't give her the controller.
That's no good.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
All right, let's freeze these guys so I can deal with this. So here we're gonna find the first heart. I think it's here. There it is. So we're gonna go in here and heal. So here's the thing: is that the heart pieces are finite, but you can actually grab like a red potion, which will heal yourself and fuck yourself. So you always want to grab the heart. Yeah. Because that's permanent.
Yep.
So we'll grab that heart as well. And we have 41, so we almost have enough for the blue candle. But I think there's a heart piece this way. Fuck. You know what? Let's just get the candle and get on with our lives before anything gets a little, gets too crazy. Because we can just attack these guys and get lots of money.
Uh-oh.
Everything's okay. I just want money. I just need 8 more. So we'll start going this way, and then we'll go get the candle, and then we'll go up and fight some motherfuckers. Let's see, that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This game filled me with such awe when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, and like that's the only word I can really use to describe it. It's just incredible amounts of awe.
I mean, I'm excited for the Wii U one because it seems to have stylistic decisions made to kind of mimic this, and it's going to be interesting to see how far they go with that.
So we're gonna cruise through here and just go up and, you know, this is obviously where we got the sword. So if we could just go, I think, over 1 and then up 1. There should be a store here, and I think it's in here that we get the blue candle.
Even the little things are just when you're walking and not attacking, your sword's up so the things hit it. It's like, that's awesome.
So we get the blue candle, and I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, that's okay. I remember this. Okay, we're good. So we're gonna go this way, and if we just go up over 1 more screen to the right and then continue to go up, we'll eventually run into the first dungeon, which we'll go to, and we'll play through that. But first, I just want to grab 1 more heart piece because I think it'll be useful for us. And to do that, we're gonna go up to the water. And then we're gonna go to the right. And I think, yeah, all right, so let's go up here. We can equip that. And I think it's like this one, no. Is it not? Oh no, I forgot. Oh, I'm fucking it up. I think it is that one, but you have to do it like that. Yeah. And then there's another way to get a heart piece here. And then we can grab that. And now there's, like I said, there's way more to do. If I was like really spending my time and I still remember this game encyclopedically, which I don't, I would go get the white sword and the blue ring and stuff. It makes it, the game actually becomes like really quite easy when you have all that stuff like way before you're supposed to get it. But that's all in the eye of the beholder. If you weren't supposed to get it, they wouldn't make it available. So I try to keep that shit in mind too. Fuck. I just want to get to the dungeon, so if we die, we're just in it. So the dungeons,
love these designs too.
Yeah, the dungeons are introduced like this, and it was always exciting when you'd see that for the first time.
Yeah.
And the music.
Because that means you know you're going the right way.
Definitely. And did you ever mess around with the second quest by chance?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's good stuff too. It like moves everything.
Yeah. That's crazy that games back in the day would give you so much content. And it's, oh, you just beat the game. Here's another game.
So we get the key, which we'll need. And you can buy keys if you want, but you never should have to buy them.
Yeah.
If you don't want to. And we'll see if we can find the compass and map while we're doing it too to kind of illuminate where we're going. Get another key. So I'm excited. When Greg was asking me like, well, what's the next game for the video game book club that you want to do? And I'm like, I feel like it's got to be The Legend of Zelda. I feel like that's just the appropriate choice. You know what I mean?
I didn't know you had this much knowledge about this game.
Yeah, like so on GameFAQs, I was like kind of an expert on Mega Man, Castlevania, and Zelda. And I wrote really detailed FAQs, which people can still find when I was in high school, for all of these games. And I'm actually especially proud of this guide because I wrote like these just detailed ASCII maps. I was like really crazy about it.
That's so funny.
So it's just like something I was really passionate about.
We should do a video sometime where we just kind of look at the things you did.
Sure. I mean, it would be funny. My FAQs are funny too because it was silly, but I would get so many emails with people being like, you suck and blah, 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 like, and try to give their tips instead that I eventually started putting my guides like, just don't email me. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick, but I know how to play the game, and this is and like you look back on it, I'm like, wow, that was kind of, you know, not the way I should have been saying things to people, but I don't edit things like that because it's like, it's posterity at this point. I was 14, 15, you know, I'm 30 years old now. It's kind of nice that there's like a real record.
Yeah.
Of all that kind of stuff. So I got the compass. So the red dot above, and like where it says level 1, and the red dot is the location of the boss in the dungeon. If you can find the map, then the map illuminates, and you can see the shape of the map itself and see where you're going and the rooms you've been in. So we grab that, and we'll use the other key we got here. I still have 1 left, so we're going northward now. Like those doors on the left will only open if you kill all the enemies in a given place or push an item out of the way. And for this one, I think it's that you push this over. But before we do that, I think. Oh, the map's over there, though, but we'll get it. We gotta go that way anyway. Let's see what's over here. Oh, it's an old man. Eastmost Peninsula, spelt wrong, is the secret. Do you know you can attack him? And then shoot fire at you?
Interesting.
So it's like, no regard for spelling or grammar in NES games at all. No one cared.
Also, what the fuck type of clue is that?
And the thing is that like people like, this was what was so fun and different about games back then, is that people took that shit serious, like wrote it down and thought about it, and were like, Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. And what he's talking about is that there's a dungeon where you have to use a raft to get to it in the corner, I think, of the map. And it's like
This is so obscure.
These guys are tossing boomerangs like a bunch of clowns.
Oh shit.
So I got the map, and you can see you can get the boomerang from them, which is very useful.
It's so crazy to see how this turned into Link to the Past. You know, like this so is the Mario to Mario World difference there, and obviously it's another console generation, but it's just crazy to see that like this is not a bad game. This is a great
this is
game,
fantastic game,
and it's just such a beautiful foundation for what would become such an amazing, well-developed game.
So the annoying thing here is you have to you can't attack when you're in doorways because it's a glitch, and they realize that wouldn't be fair. So when you spawn enemies right on top of you like that, you have to move kind of quickly. And I want to... We don't have to go up here, but I'm going to anyway. Because I don't care. And these guys have...
I also love the shapes of all the dungeons.
Yeah, this is an eagle. Fuck.
Oh.
So I think over to the... I'm trying to remember what was over to the left. That's kind of why I'm curious. I could have just kept going, but... Not playing too sharply. I do apologize, everyone at home. I usually play games better than this, obviously, but it's been a long time. The last time I played this, it's funny actually because we got, we received in the mail from a reader, I believe, the Master Quest stuff from GameCube, like the 2 discs with, one is I think Ocarina and Majora's, and then the other one's Ocarina, Majora's, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2.
Yep.
That was like a super rare disc, and I got it from, you get it from, back in the day, you got it from subscribing to Nintendo Power.
Yep.
So I had it too.
Well,
and
one was for Nintendo Power, and then one was the
Wind Waker,
pre-ordering Wind Waker. Yeah.
And I had both of those.
Yeah, me too.
And the more rare one was for Nintendo Power, which I think was the 4 games. And that was the last time I'd really sat down and played these games. So it's been over 10 years probably since I really sat and played this, other than like just just dicking around with it. Like really like I'm gonna sit down and beat this.
Yeah.
And so in preparation for the video game book club, I will sit down and beat the game again for the first time in forever. If I can, and I'm sure I can. And then maybe I'll even do the second quest, because the second quest is just so much harder and a little more obtuse. And what was fun back in the day was playing this with only 3 heart pieces. It's really hard.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that.
It's really hard, especially if you don't get the blue ring or the red ring, because the blue ring I think cuts your damage in a quarter, and then the red ring cuts your damage in half. So it makes it much easier. So let's try this one more time if we can. I have the boomerang, so I need to use it a little better. There we go. There we go. So for people that don't know or haven't played Zelda, boomerangs freeze your enemies, allowing you to kind of attack them quickly, and that's always the case in all of these games. I feel like there might be a fairy in here or something. I don't really remember. We're gonna find out.
Oh.
This one over here. Damn it. Oh, the bow. Yeah. That's right. God. It's like playing it for the first time almost again. It's awesome. So actually, this will just be easier. I'm just going to kill myself one more time.
See, I love those little pro techniques.
So I'll kill myself automatically here and just get back to the beginning, and then we'll run right to the boss and play it and end this Let's Play for you guys. But I hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. We should do a Zelda 2 Let's Play, because I might like that game even more than I like this game.
That's a very natural thing for you to say. I can imagine that. That Colin Moriarty likes Zelda 2.
Yeah, Zelda 2 is really special.
I like Zelda 2 for a lot of reasons. I love the music in that game. The overworld battle theme is fucking awesome. I never used it again. It's upsetting.
And you can use the candle as a weapon. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. But you can only use it once a screen, which is so funny. You just have to go pause it. You just have to go off the screen.
Oh, really?
And then back again. And when you get the red candle, you can use it unlimited amounts of time. It's kind of all coming back, which is funny. These enemies are so crude, it's awesome. Those skeletons are so fucking crude. Even by this game's standards, which is, not, anything but crude, really. And some enemies are so weak that even the boomerang damages them, and these bats are some of those enemies. Get out of here. And we'll just make a beeline for the boss. It'd be cool if someone dropped a heart for your boy Colin, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay. I don't want to fuck with these guys. We're very close. And what's cool too is you can hear the boss clamoring around when you get close to him. And these hands, by the way, if they grab you, will bring you back to the beginning. So you have to be very careful. So you can hear the boss like kind of screwing around there a little bit. So one thing you can do if you want, I don't really know why I would want to play it like this. I'm playing a little dangerous. You can play it like that, get the heart, and then grab the piece of the Triforce that you need. And Link's all stoked.
Yeah, he's pretty damn happy about this. I'd be happy too if I had a little flashing triangle.
Now, is that good enough? Do you think we've?
That was good. That was really good.
Okay.
I'm excited about this. I think people are gonna.
I kind of want to just keep playing.
Want some more?
Yeah. So, Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda came out in '86, '87, depending on where you lived in the world at the time. On NES, you can play it almost anywhere you want.
Yeah.
It's available on NES. It's available on Game Boy Advance. It's available on
all the
DS,
virtual consoles.
Wii U, Wii. There's a million different places you can play it, and you should.
Definitely.
It's an excellent game, and if you want to partake, of course, in our video game book club, you can do that on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. There are limited slots, so go check that out. And then we can all discuss it on Twitch sometime very soon for those of us who have played and beaten the game and have a good time with it. So join us for that. Tim, thank you for joining me for our Let's Play. A crude Let's Play, but a fun one nonetheless of The Legend of Zelda. Remember, go check out my FAQ on Game Facts if you want to see what Colin sounded like when he was a young man. Until next time, goodbye.